The land was given to us by the government of Kenya through the office of the Kitui County Council back in November 2004, 1,000 acres of semi-arid land, a real gift.
No more orphanage. The children are provided for everything. They have someone to clean their clothes, they have someone, they just go for food. But here we are trying to have a family kind of setting. As much as possible a family where we bring in orphans, keep them in a house, the grandmother is in charge. And in that family they do their duties just like a normal family.
Nyumbani is trying to sustain itself and trying to also sustain the community around. Therefore, as much as we want to grow as Nyumbani, we also want the community around to grow together with us, so that Nyumbani will not be an island whereby we are so developed and the community around are the most poorest. At this stage now, already we are in the same level. Nyumbani Village and the community are on the same level. This is contributed also to the volunteers who come into the village.
So I worked actually primarily with the grandmothers or the shushus, and they have an income generating project that they do where they weave baskets or kiondos, and I worked with them in product development and training, and they were so willing and so open to learning new things.
When you come to visit the village and you see the extent and all the services we have in place, primary school, secondary school, polytechnic, clinic, a sustainability program of permaculture and agroforestry and livestock, you may pull back and say, this is huge. How could I or we replicate this? I want to say we started with nothing, with a vision. Father Angelo D'Agostino was on the board of an orphanage here in Nairobi, and admission for HIV positive abandoned children was being sought. He was a medical doctor, specialized as a urologist and then as a psychiatrist, and he knew that a medical infrastructure would be needed to care for these children. So the board discussed this issue, but sadly they felt they couldn't admit these children because of the costs of setting up the medical infrastructure. So he said, I'll do it. Our first children were 3, and so we started to grow.
The idea behind the village was such a big idea. So we also thought of we could have a place whereby most of our furnitures and the products that are used within the village can be made. Our polytechnic is far much different from most of the polytechnics in the country. We equip these guys with a skill that now when they are reallocated, they have something to help them. The polytechnic is the main future of this system, the village itself.
Another subsector is the agroforestry project, which is having Melia Falkensi, which is a hardwood timber. Melia Falkensi is meant for hardwood timber production for our polytechnic and even for sale outside. That's one of the long-term income generating projects for sustainability program. I see Nyumbani as a very good model to help people economically, financially, and socially. Therefore, they should be replicated in many other parts of Kenya and more so in many parts of Africa.
Most of these kids, they saw the death of their parents. Because of the HIV pandemic in Kenya, it's a process. But after 2 weeks or a month, you see a change in that child. You just see the face has started to shine. There is a smile in that child, and already you just get to know that something good is happening in the life of this child. Our objective is to provide holistic care or service to the 100 Nyumbani Village families, 1,000 children, and 100 grandparents.
In Nyumbani Village Medical Center, the main intention was treating or taking care of the children of Nyumbani. But since then, we have also been offering services to the outside community around this place. So we also treat cases from outside. So we take care of the Nyumbani Village community and the outside community too.
So if they die of HIV/AIDS, this grandmother is so vulnerable because now it's hard to till the land. He has no relatives to help. He only relied on his son or his daughter who was working and already passed on. So after he dies, it's like, that is it. The only breadwinner in that family now is gone. And then grandmother cannot go again and look for a job or start working again. So they become so vulnerable and destitute.
We are going to bring different families with one grandparent. So when they come in the social families, they find the grandparents and children and also the social workers waiting to welcome them in their new family. So it's the impact these kids get. They get to know, okay, we had lost hope, but now we have somebody who cares for us. We have lost our parents, but it's like we have them back. We lost our brothers, we have them back. We lost our father, we have him back to us. So they get that warm welcome to the village, and then they stay now.
So my hope and my prayer is that others in our world, seeing this model, will be motivated to replicate it in other parts. And if we don't reach out to these orphans now, we stand to have a generation of street children throughout our countries here in Africa.